Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you are healthy and safe and well. You know what I'm gonna say. If you are not already subscribed, pause this video and press subscribe down below. Along with that, hit the bell notifications link so you know when a new video is going live. Okay, so here we are. You guys have already seen the title. You know what this is about to be. I have done, I don't even know how many influencer Q&As over the lifespan of my YouTube channel. I always love sharing what I'm learning along the way because yes, I am still figuring it out as time goes. But I am learning to accept the fact and be able to acknowledge the things that I'm good at and be proud of it. My tribe and things I've been reading and things are forcing me into that. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but there was a Business Insider article that came out that shared what I have done in brand deals just this year. So from January to July. And that has brought up a lot of questions for people asking, you know, how did you do it? What do you do? How does this work? All that kind of stuff. So I figured it was time to do another influencer Q&A. I did one right before Harper got here. So about 6 to 7 months ago. And I guess it was just time for another updated one. I'm gonna try not to answer the same questions, but a lot of people are new, so I may repeat myself a few times. But before you watch this video, go watch some of the old ones first, and then come back to this one so you guys kind of have like a build up of how we got to this point. Yeah. I guess we can go straight into the video though. Let me do a quick mini reintroduction. So my name is JaLisaEVaughn. I am originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I moved to Dallas almost 6 years ago. I moved here after I graduated from Syracuse University, where I got a degree in information management and technology, which was more so of the enterprise technology side of corporations. I was then recruited by a job in Dallas, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. You guys know HP Computers. Well, I was more on the enterprise side. So we managed other corporations and large Fortune 50 companies, IT infrastructure. So whether they needed bodies or project managers, IT project managers, what else did we do? Programmers, coders, all of that kind of stuff. I managed some of the warehouses that products were made, so where they would build the robots and things like that. I didn't do the part, but I managed the people that were there to build those systems. Anyways, alongside of that, I was also doing my blogging and influencing on the side. When I moved to Dallas, I met someone and they were like, oh, I had around 50,000 followers, and this was in 2015. They were like, oh, so what are you charging per post? And I'm like, charging? I didn't know you can charge for posts. I said, people send me free t-shirts and free clothes here and there, but I didn't know I could charge them to post it as well. From then on, I started doing my own research and learning about influencing. This was before it became a thing. This was before everybody wanted to be an influencer. This was before all of that. So I was kind of figuring it out as I went. As I started charging, it was very small for posts here and there. As I grew and learned more, the time came where I ended up making more from what I was doing after those 9 to 5 hours than I was during those hours. So I was like, okay, Lord, you keep showing me time after time that this is something that I am called to. I have prayed for confirmation after confirmation. I'm gonna take that full leap into full-time influencing. Hello guys. I am on my new vlogging camera because I have some news for you all. I have officially quit my job and am now pursuing full-time blogging, influencing, all that. And I did so. Of course, I was nervous and scared and all that kind of stuff, but I did anyway, because a lot of times you still have to jump scared. So I did that, which three, almost 4 years later, full-time has brought me to today, where honestly, I'm gonna say it, I do this influencing thing and I am proud of it. It is what I love. It makes me happy. I love encouraging and inspiring and making people know that they're not the only ones going through whatever they're going through. I come from a family of preacher and pastors, so it's kind of like in me, but not the fashion stuff, just more of the just being who I am. Unlike other influencers, you guys know how I am with my spirituality and my relationship with God. I don't believe that I'm just an influencer. I believe that I am on assignment. So while there are tons of influencers that do the same thing that I do, they don't do it how I do it, and they are not on the same assignment as me. That being said, even when I don't feel like it, I don't have a choice, because this is what God has told me to do, and this is what the things that he's told me to say, I have to say it, all of that. So my job, career, assignment is very different from other people, so I share a lot more and a lot differently than most. I think that's it. I guess that's an okay introduction.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so that's me. Hello. I vlogged when I quit my corporate job. And basically said, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I know God has called me to this. I am going to try it and take you guys along the journey and figure it out along the way. No, I didn't have fancy equipment. No, I didn't know what I was doing. I was using my phone to record videos. For all of those who are like, oh, I don't have this to start. I was using my phone. I was just trying stuff and figuring it out, and a lot of stuff flopped. Huh? We still use our phone if we don't have the camera available to film videos and things. But yeah, I just stepped out on faith and was like, God, you called me to this. I know you want me to do this. So now you just got to show me the way. And I know that you're not going to show me everything right up front. So there were times where I was vlogging and I was like, guys, I don't know what the heck is going on. This is not going the way I thought, or this flopped, or my engagement is low, or people aren't responding to this, but I still kept doing it. And I believe that that is what has got me to this point. Through my fears, through my doubts, through low engagement, through no one supporting or knowing what I was even doing. No one. 0 people. 0. I still kept doing it. And that's, I feel like, what has brought me to today. So, all of that being said, you guys submitted some questions on Instagram, and I'm going to answer those. Someone is in the house. We have an install. You guys know we just moved into a new house. So if you hear random thumps, it's because we're having an install. Work doesn't stop. We need to get the house done, so everything has to be done in tandem.
How do you get started with no following?
That's a hard question, because I feel like a lot of the influencers that I follow, know, and look at started from nothing, and you have to do the job before doing the job. You guys hear me say that in every video. Like, you don't just wake up and say, oh, I'm gonna be an influencer. Influencers are people who are already being sought after for certain content. So either you're inspiring, encouraging, entertaining, you're already doing it. You don't just wake up and start getting paid by brands. These are people who are already enjoying creating content and serving their audience, not asking for followers, not asking for shout outs. These are people who were already serving their audience. So, for example, I'm a mom. I just always love sharing tips and sharing, you know, what my kids are doing. Or I learned this yesterday, I thought somebody else could benefit from it. They were already doing that. Like, you're already doing that and sharing free information. When you become an influencer, and when, I guess we're all influencers, when you start influencing as a career, that's when brands, because they already see you doing it. You don't just wake up and start doing it. They're like, oh, this person always shares information on their kids, or always shares what products they're using, or always shares, you know, what they're doing in their house and house updates. Then those brands start reaching out. You have to do it first, and you have to do it for free first. And you have to build up that content and that history to be able to be sought after for paid campaigns and by brands.
With starting brand new and growing your followers, how do you deal with doubts and social anxiety?
I have social anxiety, and I don't know how other people do it, but for me, like I said, I'm on assignment. So my fears and my social anxiety and being an introvert, God doesn't care about that. He's like, I told you to do something and I expect you to do it, and then that's just it. We'll deal with everything else after, but you're gonna get this out. So I feel like you have to figure it out. You have to let those fears, do it with the fear, because I'm still scared sometimes when I release things and do things, but I don't have a choice. And if I want to keep growing, and if I want people to keep coming to me and trusting me for whatever it is, I have to keep doing it. So those fears, you're not going to get anywhere if you just keep letting them take over. You have to do it while you're scared.
Do you feel pressure to make more video content since Instagram is now pushing that?
I do feel pressured, but I do know that I have already set the stage for my audience. So in whatever way that I share information, they will receive it. So I want to grow, so I shift and change with what's going on. So everyone's complaining about the algorithm and things. I don't really have time to do that. I just figure out a new way to put something out and to move and shift with the changes. And I feel like in this business, if you're not flexible and learning how to do different things and fit into different molds and still be the same person, but Instagram is not always going to be the prominent thing for all of us. It's not for us. We're using a tool. So you have to be able to fit into whatever it wants or what it's doing, or you can keep doing what you're doing, but just don't complain about it.
How do you budget as an influencer? Like, is there a steady income that you budget for?
At first, I was really just winging it. At first, I was getting deals and I would just reinvest into the business, whether it be getting props, whether it be ordering clothes so that I can do the try on haul so that the brands can then look at me. Pay for it yourself so that you can create the content and then the brand will come looking. Don't reach out if you don't already have something like that on your page. That's what I was doing. So if I had to order an outfit to do a try on, or order outfits to do a try on haul, that's where the money went. If I had to pay Marika to shoot me, that's where the money went. If I needed extra help for video editing and things like that, that's where all my money was going. So like I was just scraping to pay my bills, but I was like, I know that this is gonna pay off. Not saying that everyone should do that, because it worked out for me, but I don't know if that works out for everybody else, because I trust God on a different level. But anyway, yeah, at first I was just winging it. Now that I know and I have like a steady situation coming in, and a family, there are different ways that we budget personally. But at first I was winging it and I was like, okay, so I have my bill money put away, everything else is going into the business. I have this put away, everything else is going into the business. And I did that for the first 2 years. So for all the people who are like, oh, you're so flashy, you're being flashy, you're splurging, not all of us have, I literally was borrowing money from family and friends for my first 2 years because I was reinvesting everything I was making and I was borrowing money for bills. I took L's my first 2 years. So if I buy an extra bag here and there, I deserve it because I didn't buy anything my first 2 years. And that's just to the trolls who are like, you're just showing off. No, I worked for this. My first year or so, I had someone create a fake page and they took a screenshot of all of the pictures that I wore the same pair of shoes in, and said, is this influencer ever gonna get new shoes? And I was so hurt. Of course, I still kept working, but I was so, daughter. So like I told you, here's Miss Ma'am. So yeah, I was extremely hurt. And then now to see comments where people, I told them that too, baby. I told them. So when I get comments now where it's like, you're being so flashy, all that kind of stuff, you really just learn how to block it out. Because it's like, you weren't with me a couple years ago where I couldn't afford anything. So I don't want to hear this now. Rant over. We go to the next question.
What are some specific tips to attract and target brands?
You have to create the content that you see they're already creating. You can't expect a brand to work with you if the caliber of your content isn't on the same level as theirs. So what I would always do is shoot the product that I bought. So I love Dove soap or Nivea lotion. You would shoot it, go to their page, see what type of things that they're creating, see what type of things that they like, and go replicate that on your page, and then say, that's what I'm saying, baby. And then I would reach out and say, I've always loved your product. I've been sharing your product already with my audience. I would love a chance to work with you because this is something that they're already loving. And here are some examples of content that I've created that looks similar to what you all's aesthetic is, but also fits my brand and my feed, and my followers respond to it. Ow. And that's how you go about that.
Tips on staying consistent.
Do it. You have to stay consistent. I mean, if you're not gonna do it, nothing, I mean, sorry. I have to think of a better answer because you know that's my answer to everything. Like, stop overthinking it, just do it, batch shoot, take a day that you're off and shoot 10 different looks. Yes, you're tired, but if you wanna get the content, you'll just figure it out and do it. If you have a full-time job, if you have kids, If you're in school, figure it out, do it after hours, and shoot a bunch of stuff at one time so that you have that week's content already planned out.
Hey girl, love your content. How do you take care of health insurance?
You pay for it out of pocket. It's very possible. It's very easy. You just call the health insurance company that you want to go move forward with, ask them for different example plans, and you pay it monthly. That's what I'm saying. And you pay for it monthly out of pocket. It's not hard at all. I promise you it's not. When I first quit or told my parents I was quitting my job, that was the first thing that they asked. But I think before, like, people thought like the only way you could get health insurance is through like a corporate company, and no, you could call them directly, tell them you need a plan, they'll take it out of your account every month for that plan.
How do you pay your team and determine salaries, pay periods, etc.?
Everyone is completely different. I would never discuss everyone else's pay situation because that's not my place. But I discuss and have contracts with each individual person. We write out what their tasks would be. I ask them what they would be expecting to make at this rate, and we negotiate just like any other job. So that's just how that goes. But everyone's contract is different. Everyone's pay period is different because I ask them what works for them. So would you prefer monthly? Would you prefer every other week? How do you want to do it? Do you want to do hourly? Would you rather do salary? But everyone on my team is different.
With growing your reach, people say followers don't make it, but it does matter. Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. I think more now you can grow and you can also get paid and get paid campaigns without having a large following. I think brands look at the content you're creating, they look at your comments, they look at who's asking you about what. They pretty much analyze your page before even responding to you if you pitch to them. So I think if you already have an audience for this and they see that your audience is asking you a lot about this, and you're creating content that they could repurpose and use, you still can get paid regardless of your size. I do think size somewhat matters because you need to have an audience. You have to have an audience, or like, what are they paying you for? You know what I mean? They want you to promote to a certain number of people, but there are ways you can get around that. Now, if you have like 100 followers, build up your audience first. Build a case. You don't have a strong case yet, but for people with like 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, like, you can get really nice size campaigns if your content is good and if the audience is actually listening to you about that specific thing. Baby, what's the matter? Okay guys, Harper's going down for a nap, so if you hear random screaming, that's why, because she doesn't want a nap because it's 1,000 of us in this house right now, and she likes to be around the action. So she's about to fight our nanny until she passes out.
What are some things that you learned now that you wish you had known at the beginning?
I wish I would have stopped overthinking so much, because the reality is we're all just trying and figuring things out. And with this industry specifically, things change so often, so no one really has it under their belt. We're all just putting stuff out and seeing what sticks. And I wish I would have not overthought it so much. I wish I would have not been like, oh, I need to find a niche and I need to narrow it down. Because the reality is none of us are just focused on one thing in our lives. So that doesn't make sense to just put out content for that one thing, especially if you're like a lifestyle type influencer. So for me, I was like, oh, I can only do fashion. Oh, I can only do beauty, and I'm not really a makeup beauty guru. I like my skin to be nice, but I like to get my makeup done. So I'm not really into like the newest and most updated makeup products and stuff like that. So I really overthought that, because before, don't get me wrong, before everyone really had one specific thing. Either you were a hair influencer, you were a beauty influencer, you were a fashion influencer, and for fashion it meant more like runway type fashion. It wasn't even like everyday lifestyle type fashion. So I wish I would have not overthought that, because then I look back now and I'm like, we all do everything, and it's the best thing ever because that's our lives and that's what makes the most sense. But even just overthinking in terms of like trying new things and putting different things out there, I feel like I would have been a lot further, a lot faster, if I would have not overthought every single thing and let what other people say get to me. Because if that were the case, I still wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, just because it's not going to make sense to everybody else. God didn't call them to it. He called you to it, and he told you what to do. So you can't expect everyone else to be on board and have everyone's support. And that's another thing. Your family is not your target audience. So stop crying and complaining about family and friends not supporting your stuff. There is a whole world of people and a tribe waiting for you. So I'm really sick of seeing that. So I'm just going to throw that in there with it.
How does the new algorithm affect you now as opposed to before?
The new algorithm, yes, it sucks. Very bad because they hide our ads. But the reality is complaining about it is useless because all of us have to all of us have to deal with it. So it's like, it's not like it's just out to get one person. Like influencers across the board, all of our ad engagement is down and all of our ads are being hidden. So for me, it's like, okay, cool. As long as it's happening to all of us, then brands know, you know what I mean? So I've never let that affect anything I was doing because I'm like, it's across the board. So the entire roster of influencers for this specific campaign is gonna have engagement lower than normal, but it's because of it's because of Instagram and the algorithm. And I just feel like, again, we don't own the app. So we're literally using a tool. So can't really complain about it if you don't pay for it or own it. Along with that, I think the best thing would be to spread out your content. You know, spread your wings a bit. Don't just be on one platform. Even if one is your biggest one, but you're still dibbling and dabbling on other ones, that's probably the best way to be because, again, we don't own them. So they could go away at any given point. I don't think they're going to go away at any given point. But just for peace of mind's sake, I know that I still create on all these different platforms. I still engage on these different platforms. So I'm not like freaking out when Instagram doesn't update because it's not mine. So that's just what they do. So then we just shift and change and move around and do what we need to do on this free app.
Before partnering with brands, how are you able to decipher through like scams and what you do and do not take?
It's hard because I can decipher a scam so fast now, so I don't even know like any of those people who are like DM us or DM so-and-so and we would love to work with you. It's like, no, you message me. So you click the email button in my bio and reach out to me. Those are scams. Really anything that's asking you to like buy the product and do it, those are usually scams as well.
If there's not like a real signature.
Oh, yeah, if there's not a real signature, and you can always research the PR firm. That if the person is in the signature, you can research the PR firm and really just see like how legit are they, who have they worked with, what campaigns do they have.
You can look up the individual on LinkedIn to make sure they're real.
That too. Shayma said you can look up the individual on LinkedIn. So there are a lot of ways around it. Honestly, I feel like as you keep doing it, you'll get to see who's playing around and who's not. So yeah.
And then how do you decide like what brands you are willing to work with or turn down?
I think the brands that that fit your brand, whether it be someone who you've tried out already or someone who looks like it's a good product. I have worked with brands that I've never used their product before, but we have them send product, I try it out, see if I like it and things like that, and then we work together. So there are ways to really figure out, do I like this brand? Does it fit what I'm already talking about? Is this something that my audience, seems like they've been interested in or asked me about? Or, I follow this group of moms or these groups of fashion influencers, and we were saying how we were looking for a one-sided strapless bra. Oh my gosh, a company with a one-sided strap. Like those type of things is where you like really know, okay, this fits what I'm already doing, what I'm talking about, and it fits my brand.
You talked about like equipment when getting started because you said use your phone, but like what else do you feel like in the beginning are like necessities?
You need a camera. You need a camera, a phone camera, a camera, whatever. That's it. That's all I had.
Yeah.
I didn't get a vlog camera until.
But you did dual with it.
I did, but I didn't get a vlog camera until year 3.
I know, but I'm saying once you did get a camera, you did dual
yes,
functions with, like
yes,
you recorded
yes,
videos and took pictures.
Yes, yes. So when you do get a camera, you can do videos, pictures, and you can ask them. This is what I'm gonna be using it for. What's the best camera for me for that? But yeah, all you need is a camera. That's all I had. Like, even for like flat lays, when that was a thing, I was getting like marble wallpaper and putting it on my floor and like taking pictures with different wallpapers to make the content, poster boards, everything. Like, I was utilizing what I had and what I could get cheap. So you don't need a lot. And the reality is, people want to see the real. They don't want this glitz and glam. Like, they want to see where you really are and watch the journey. So don't feel like you need to start from like level 100. Like, start where you are. Say, I'm figuring this out. That also relieves a lot of pressure. And I think for me, the fact that I was never trying to be another influencer, I even stopped watching other influencers and watching other YouTubers because I wanted to stop comparing myself. And I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want to affect the content that I put out. So I put on a blind to all of them. And I would just create, like, this is what I'm feeling. This is what God gave me. I'm just going to put it out there. And you guys can see in these old videos how fuzzy and crusty, and I was stuttering and I was nervous. I was sweating, but I was still doing it. And you don't get comfortable and you don't get good unless you keep practicing and putting yourself out there and trying new things.
Do you believe hashtags work when trying to network in your niche?
I feel like maybe they may work because, like, for instance, when I travel to different cities, I'll type in blah, 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 makeup artist, blah, 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 hairstylist. So like, if you're in that type of industry, maybe, but I know you have to switch up your hashtags because I didn't know that, and I ended up being shadow banned from every single hashtag that I use, which means my post wouldn't even pop up on those hashtag feeds because I was using them too much. So you just have to be careful with the usage and make sure you switch them up with every post to make it tailored specifically to that post.
At what point should you hire a team or get a firm to manage you?
That's two different questions. So at what point should you hire a team? I think when you have too much business for you to do it on your own. If you're just starting out, you probably can handle your emails. You probably can set up your shoots and things like that. Maybe still get a photographer if you can. If not, get a tripod. That works too. I did that. But I think when the growth is too fast for you to keep up with yourself, that's when you hire a team. Also, as far as management, I think you do not hire management until, again, you have so many brand deals coming in so that you can't manage them all. I was missing large companies because I just couldn't keep up with my email. So I was missing campaigns and deals. And then that's when I realized I need to hire a team. Or I was too bogged down with the, like logistics of everything. By the time it got time to shoot, I was over it. But again, it was just too much for me to handle. I don't think you should just hire right out the gate if you can manage on your own, because what are you giving them a percentage for when you can have all your money yourself?
How do you find the balance between influencing, being a wife, and a mother?
I just do it. It's all important to me. So it's important for me, for my husband to feel seen, for my child to feel seen, and for me to be able to work and enjoy my life and time by myself. So I have learned in this position that I am in now, because I don't want to slow up with my work life, I outsource a lot of things because I would like to have time with my family where I can be present with them. So I've learned to outsource, but prior to that, I just figured out how to balance. I planned certain days I would work, certain days I wouldn't, or if I didn't have nothing else to do, I would just work straight through, but that was fine for me then. Now, I just plan stuff out. I don't know. I feel like at this age, my calendar has really become my best friend. And even with my team, I'm like, we have to be done by this time. So that's just it. Actually, what time is it? We have to be done by this time. And that's just it. You just find, like, I just feel like if things are important to you, if you really want to grow, if you really want to be whatever you want to be, like, you have to get to a point where you shut off every single excuse that you tell in your head as to why you can't do it or be it, and just do and figure it out along the way. I think, and I'm only saying this because I get so many messages where people are like, I'm a full-time student and I just can't find the time. And it's like, But you have 3-4 hours in the evening after you're done studying, or you could wake up earlier in the morning and do XYZ, or you can do this. Like, there are ways around everything. It's just up to you and your level of determination as to what you want to do and what you want to get done. Or if you want to still be talking about it and be in the same position a few years later, that works too. I'm sorry, because I just get so many messages about it, and I'm just like, y'all, talking about it for years on years is not going to get anywhere. You have to stop buying everybody's ebook and coaching session and reading every life self-help book and just get up and try it. Just do it. You don't need another sermon. You don't need another book. You don't need another word. You need to just do it. Like, put God to the test. Some of us like belittle him so much, and it's just ridiculous to me.
What is the most important thing to keep in mind as an influencer?
That the only thing that makes you different is your story. We all can take cute pictures. We all can put together an outfit. We all can recycle quotes from Pinterest. The only thing that makes you different is your story. And if you don't tell it and be raw and real about it, you don't have to share everything, but the things that you are comfortable sharing, that is the only thing that makes you different from the next person. So why not tell your story? Share your testimony. Do what God has called you to do. Share what makes you different.
What is the best way to register your business and handle your books as an influencer?
I have outsourced mine because I don't want the IRS coming after me. So me and all of my friends who I've helped figure out their businesses and stuff, we all go to the same person, and he sets us up with our LLC or whatever type of business you're creating, and then also does your taxes and things quarterly or annually. But I would probably recommend finding somebody, because God can do anything. You don't want to take off one year and then the IRS come knocking at your door because you done tried to be a tax accountant yourself.
Can you talk about a time where brand collab/income was slow, which you already did, but like...
Yeah, my first 2 years, brand collabs weren't slow, but people didn't want to pay. My first year. My first full-time year. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, but like, I think maybe put in perspective, like, on average, maybe 40 collabs a month now versus year one, how many were happening? Because I don't think it was...
A month?
Yeah. Month.
4 or 5. But for me, the way I think is so different, because to me, and sometimes I have to work on like my self-talk, and when things weren't coming in, I was like, well, then you're not putting out enough content. You're not putting yourself out there enough. So you can't complain about that, because you're not putting enough out there for them to be able to find you and see you. There are millions of people in this world. Every brand is not, your page is not going to pop up to them. So for me, when things were slow, I was like, okay, so you're not doing enough. Let's amp up. Let's create. Let's create these products for these brands that I want to be noticed by. Let's go buy the stuff, create, so that they will notice me, and so that when I do pitch myself to them, I have a slew of things I've already done. And yeah, money was slow too then, but like I said, for the few campaigns that I did get, I reinvested them because I was like, I know this is going to pay off in the long run. I hope that answered the question. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As you guys can see, this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. So I don't want to come off douchey, but I am, like you guys say, like I am that no-nonsense friend. Or like you guys saw, I am that no-nonsense friend. And I just feel like sometimes we belittle God so much when he has put so much in us and given us so many gifts and so many talents, and we're just too scared to put them to use. I just feel like that's an insult to him. So I feel like I was put on this earth, and God has given me the platform that I am to convey that message. There is so much in you. There is so much in you. And oftentimes he is waiting to take you to your next level for you to just trust him, do what he's called you to do first, and then he will show you the rest. You have to try. You have to put yourself out there. I do stuff and I'm like, okay, God, seem like you got some stuff to do on your end because I did my part. Now it's on you. But you have to do the work first. You can't just sit back and over spiritualize everything and say, I'm waiting on God and waiting on God. No, actually he's waiting on you. And that's just where I am, and that's how I feel. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have additional questions down below. Of course, like I said, we do these all the time. So we'll come back to this video a few months down the line when we do the next one. So leave your questions down below. I love you guys so much. I pray that you guys let God use you and let the world see and hear what you have to say and the testimony that you have. Make sure you guys are following on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all of that good stuff. Peace out.